pastor at Main Street United Methodist Church, and I'm here today to bring you our weekly Wednesday Word. I'm coming to you the Wednesday after that hurricane just swept through the southeast and did a lot of devastation, and it's kind of just really interesting what can happen, that this hurricane devastated Asheville, and Asheville is in the mountains. It's not close to the coast, and yet it still has been so devastated. There are other places that are still in the midst of recovery. I know Boone is having a lot of issues. Chimney Rock, we've got I-40 that has lost some of the road itself, and so traffic getting in and out, then it's a mess, and it just feels really close, at least for me, having lived near Asheville for a while. My parents, the last time I talked with them, they were still without power. They have a generator, but are living off of that. My youngest sister doesn't have power, and she doesn't have a generator, and so they're struggling, and there are issues that are affecting them. And so I just want to come today and just say, to keep them in your prayers. Just keep lifting them up, and asking the Holy Spirit to guide all of the people that are working down there, so they'll know. The Holy Spirit can guide them so that they'll know where they need to go to find the people that are still missing. Find the people that they haven't been able to get in contact with yet. Cell service has been down. They've been, can't get in and out because it's just been so devastated. And so just continue to pray for all of those involved in this. But then I also encourage you to put those prayers into action. You can do that through UMCOR, and that's the organization that I would encourage you to support. It's United Methodist Committee on Relief, and they are usually one of the first groups that goes into devastation areas and one of the last groups to leave, and they are prepared to know how to help with this situation. And so the funding you give allows them to be fully engaged and involved in whatever is going on down there. So I encourage you to do that. If you would like to support them by putting together a flood bucket, you can do that. Those who are on the Main Street email list, you should have gotten an email that lists all of the items that are in the bucket. So if you want to put one of those together, you can do that. You can get together with another family or two if you want to do that, and you can put them together like that as a group. Our district is going to be collecting those and sending them to Richmond to join the others throughout the conference on October 15th. So I ask that you, if you're going to do a flood bucket, then you have it here to the church by the 14th, so that we can take it to them and get it distributed to them and where it needs to go. Those are the two areas or two ways that I would specifically lift up. That's not to say that if you know of another organization that you feel compelled to help and support, do what you feel called to do. There are lots of organizations that are doing good work, and I just encourage you to find a way to put your prayers into actions to help some of these people down there. So just wanted to lift that up. Wanted to lift up, this Sunday is World Communion Sunday. It's always the first Sunday in October, and so I think it's appropriate that we're doing World Communion Sunday, and we're realizing that we are connected around the world. So when we have these kinds of problems that are not directly affecting us, but maybe we know people are that we realize that we are a connected people, and World Communion Sunday is I think a powerful way for us to realize our connection. And even though we are spread apart and we are vast and our world is huge to us, that it's not to God, and that God loves people everywhere, be it here in Bedford or be it in another country around the other side of the globe. So I wanted to remind you about that. On October 13th, that's not this Sunday, but next Sunday, is when we are going to be having a special worship service, special celebration. We will be celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's the day where we celebrate the history of all of the indigenous people that were here in the Americas, as people from Europe and other places came over to Americas, and they began seeing the great and rich history of the people that lived here before the settlers came in. We're going to be celebrating that on October 13th. It's usually nationwide it's on the 14th, that Monday, and we're going to celebrate it on that Sunday a day early. But it's also the Sunday that we are celebrating, inviting our friends, our neighbors, inviting people to come and worship with us at Main Street. We are in the midst of our Everybody Tell Somebody worship series, and so I encourage you to tell some people, invite some people, and see how many guests we can have this on October 13th to be a part of what's happening at Main Street, to encourage them to come and worship with us. We're going to have some special food for the fellowship time prior to worship, and it's just going to be a really, really wonderful service. So I encourage you to, if you've not invited somebody else to join you that Sunday, to do so for the 13th. That evening is also going to be our second Sunday cinema night, where we will be watching a film that helps us understand a little bit more about the Skoke's monkey trial that happened a long time ago. But it's a powerful movie, so I encourage you to come and help us to learn more about that if you would like to. That would be on the 13th at 6 p.m. And then last, I want to lift up our Brunswick stew. We've begun taking orders for our stew. If you've had it in the past, it is always good. It is delicious stew. And so I encourage you to go ahead and try and place your orders for the stew. Talk to your friends and your neighbors and other people and get them to take some orders. There's a place to order it on our website, so you can go to the website. There will be links in the bulletin and in the Friday notes and places that you can share with people that they can use those links, and just go ahead and plan to get your order for the Brunswick stew. We are also, this year, we're going to try and add a bake sale to that as well. So if you're interested in helping to bake some goods for that bake sale, I encourage you to do that. Information about how to do that is in the Friday notes, and it's also in the bulletin on Sunday. And those of you, if you're not interested in baking but you'd like to eat, just know that we're going to have some delicious baked goods here. I tell you, Main Street knows how to cook, knows how to bake, knows how to prepare some really, really good food. So I encourage you to plan to participate in that. Friends, I hope you have a good rest of the week. I hope you enjoy. The sun is beginning to come out here. The children and our preschool are so looking forward to being able to go outside finally. They've been having all of their playtime in the activity room inside here. They haven't been able to go outside for a while, so they are looking forward to when and if they can go outside and enjoy the weather again. So I hope you're having a good week. I look forward to worshiping with you this Sunday. We'll worship together in person at 10:30 or worshiping with you online. God bless.